Hello, this is QTV News coming to you from our studios on Caraba Avenue. I am Umutu Kajika and thanks for joining us. First, here are our main news headlines. Ismaila Usenunjai, more popularly known as Usunjai Sr., the pioneering 1960s music band Super Eagles, has died at the age of 77. The National Food Security Processing and Marketing Corporation, formerly the GGC, has announced the date for the groundnut marketing season. The presidential Meet the People tour reached the Lower River region on Tuesday with joint meetings in Jara and Kiang constituencies. The Gambia Immigration Department with national and international partners launched the Common Operational Partnerships on Wednesday in the fight against migrant smuggling and human trafficking. In international news, the 42nd Annual Technical Conference of the Commonwealth Association of Tax Administrators is underway in Abuja, Nigeria. Those were the main news headlines, and now the news in detail. Welcome and thank you for joining us. This is QTV News. We begin with sad news. Ismaila Usenunjai, more popularly known as Usunjai Sr., has died at the age of 77. He was a founding member of the pioneering 1960s music band Super Eagles, who popularized Western-style pop of the period before transforming into a truly Gambian voice.
Founders of Super Eagles, the others were Pak Toure, Buddy Job, and Modu Cham, the Gambia's Beatles, if you like.
Hey, you gonna make it better. Make a song, make it better.
Who took Bathos by storm in the 1960s with their blend of merengue, Afro-Cuban, rumba, highlife, and other pop genres.
Welcome, President Kaunda. There was a assassinate Gambia. Welcome, President Kaunda. There was a assassinate Gambia.
Before the band expanded to include musicians who would become household names: Charlie Valentine, Edu Hafner, Senemi Taylor, Danjo, and Malando Gassama, the percussionist who eventually went to Sweden, where he recorded and performed with many notable Swedish and international artists such as ABBA and Al Jarreau. The band also had two Congolese members, Sami Ndame and Marceline. Senegal's first president, Senghor, said that he was inspired by Super Eagles to form orchestra Baobab. Formed in 1968, Super Eagles was the country's first truly international band who, from their first international outing to Senegal, traveled fairly extensively, not only in the sub-region, but also to Europe, drawing substantial crowds to their shows. They went to London in 1977, appearing on the show Mike Raven's Band Call, a popular rhythm and blues show in the UK. A few years earlier, in the early 70s, the band had begun to infuse traditional musical forms into their style, which eventually produced their unique blend of styles known as Afro-Manding blues. The group would change its name from Super Eagles to Ifang Bunde, a Mandinka word for be yourself, to herald the shift in their musical philosophy. The innovative style became immensely influential in Senegambian music. Youssou N'Dour's formative musical style would take its shape in their influence. Usunjai Sr. was among the youngest members of the band and would in time distinguish himself as a composer, arranger, band leader, and producer. He produced Super Eagles' first hit song, Mandali. And over the years, composed more than 50 songs, some of which have since become timeless classics. On the anniversary of his Golden Jubilee in music, his Fatileku Dance Band and other musicians staged shows across the country and used some of the proceeds to support community projects. Ismaila Usunjai was born on May 27, 1945 in Bathurst and took to music straight out of secondary school. He became known as Usunjai Senior to distinguish him from another younger musician with the same name, Usu Lion Jai, a drummer who lost an arm in a car accident but continued to play the drums with his single arm. The death of Usunjai Senior undeniably marks the end of an era. His was the generation of pioneering musicians who put the country on the map. And apart from his musical talent, he mentored many musicians and helped set them up. For QTV News, I am Mamadou Mbouch.
Very sad news there, and our condolences to his family and friends. May Allah grant him Jannah. The National Food Security Processing and Marketing Corporation, formerly the GGC, has announced the date for the groundnut marketing season. And here is a short notice about that.
Food Security Processing and Marketing Corporation, formerly GGC, has announced that the groundnut marketing season will commence on 1st December 2022 and end on 31st March 2023. The farm gate price for this year's marketing season is $32,000 per ton and $32 per kilo, which has been subsidized by the government of the Gambia. Farmers are encouraged to sell their groundnuts to the National Food Security Processing and Marketing Corporation, GGC, to acquire foreign exchange earnings for the country through the export of processed groundnuts. For transparency and accountability, the payment process will be carried out by Ajib Bank. Therefore, Ajib Bank representatives will facilitate payments to farmers at each SECO point to ensure farmers are paid on the spot. Farmers are therefore urged to take their groundnuts to the nearest SECO to receive their payments.
In another news, the presidential Meet the People tour reached the Lower River region on Tuesday with joint meetings in Jara and Kiang constituencies. President Adama Barrow has promised to lay a foundation stone next year for a project that will construct roads stretching nearly 100 kilometers to several communities in the Lower River region. Mahmoud Lamin Choi reports.
The people of Jara East, West and Central constituencies received President Adama Barrow for his first meeting in the Lower River region. The constituents faced the president for constitutionally mandated dialogue on the affairs of the country and its people. Hulemati Jallo speaks for the women of the three constituencies. Madam Jallo thanks the president for his government support to women, including through the Women's Enterprise Fund. She also talks about the high cost of food and requests the president to help reduce prices. Delivering a message to the president on behalf of the Jara youth is Demba Jao, who sets out the employment challenges facing youth of Jara, especially women. He prevails upon the agriculture minister to allocate 10 hectares of land for a garden where youth can cultivate crops for a living. The chief of Jara East, Yahya Jajusi, praises the president for allocating salaries to alcalos and issuing diplomatic passports to chiefs. He describes the president's support to the local authorities in the Gambia as historic in the country. Keba Jallo, the NAM for Jara Central, refers to this year's poor groundnut harvest and the lack of farm machinery in Jara. The assembly member reveals that the whole of Jara has only one tractor for farmers. The Jara East NAM wants the president to upgrade the Soma District Hospital to a general hospital and increase its budget befitting its location in a cosmopolitan area. As in other regions, the president presents a check for nearly $6 million to women's groups in the Lower River region. The money is given to the women's groups through the Women's Enterprise Fund to support their business ventures. The Minister of Works, Ibrahim Asila, announces a roads infrastructure project in Jara that will stretch to several communities, saying it is President Barrow's policy directive to provide electricity to every community where roads are constructed. The Minister of Agriculture, Dr. Demba Sabali, reiterates government's commitment to rise self-sufficiency by 2026. The minister confirms government had given 4 tractors to LRR and plans to provide more. The Agriculture Minister informs the people of Jara that storage facilities, including some that are solar-powered, will be given to communities in Jara through the Roots project. In his remarks to the people of Jara, President Adama Barrow outlines his government's plan to construct nearly 100 kilometers of roads in Jara. Regarding electricity, the President reassures the gathering that there are many government projects with funds already available that will bring electricity access to 50 communities in Jara and Kiang. The venue for the last meeting in the Lower River region was in Quinella with the constituencies of Kiang East, West and Central. Several speakers at the meeting thanked the President for providing Kiang with electricity, roads and other developments. On behalf of the Council of Elders, Alhaji Manjang thanks the President for respecting humanity and religions. Bakari Sane thanked the President for providing the people of Kiang with social amenities like electricity and roads during his first term in office, which they had lacked since independence. On youth matters, Bakari Sane wants the Youth Ministry to develop the infrastructure with social amenities that can help groom good footballers and athletes in various sports. The Chief of Kiang Central, Mustafa Sabali, speaks on behalf of chiefs in Kiang and joins other speakers to thank the President for constructing roads, providing electricity and water access to communities in Kiang. The Minister of Agriculture, Dr. Demba Sabali, encourages youth to engage in agriculture for a living as it is a profitable source of income. Minister Sabali announces agricultural projects that will support communities with cold storage facilities, poultry farming, noting that Kiang is a priority to government. President Barrow addresses the people of Kiang, pointing to his development record in the construction of roads, electricity and boreholes. The head of state calls on Gambians to give priority to rice cultivation to gain rice self-sufficiency. President Barrow has also preached peace and unity among Gambians for national development. Mahmoud Lamin Choi, QTV News.
That story by Mahmoud Lamin Choi takes us to a commercial break, and when we return, we'll still have some more local and international news stories. Do stay tuned.
Under the auspices of the President, His Excellency Adama Barrow, the Muslim World League, in collaboration with the Gambia government, will host a conference of African religious ministers and ulamas on the 6th of December 2022. The International Islamic Conference will bring together ministers of religious affairs, leading Islamic scholars, policymakers, youths, community leaders across Africa to discuss and advance Islamic values that promote peace and tolerance. Let's come together and welcome our brothers and sisters in keeping with our trademark hospitality as the smiling coast of Africa. This message is brought to you by the ministry responsible for religious affairs in collaboration with the Gambia OIC Secretariat.
To make sure your company's products and services reach your potential customers, it is essential that you choose the right channel for your marketing purposes. QTV has the widest reach locally and beyond, and we can give your business the visibility it needs. Call QTV Marketing on +220 324 4444 or email us at marketing@qtv.gm and take your business to the world.
Welcome back, and thank you very much if you're just joining us. This is QTV News. The Gambia Immigration Department, with national and international partners, launched the Common Operational Partnerships on Wednesday in the fight against migrant smuggling and trafficking in human beings. Suleiman Dabo reports.
This dialogue among stakeholders involves Spain, Germany and the European Union representatives. Their discussion is centered on COP Gambia, or Common Operational Partnerships, that became operational in the Gambia in 2021 with emphasis on human trafficking and illegal migration. MJ Chow, the head of the COP Gambia office, discussed the areas that they are mainly focused on when performing their functions.
The pillars of the COP Gambia are four. The first one is to achieve the coordination between national entities in the Gambia. This wouldn't have been possible without the Gambia Police Force participation in relation with investigation, criminal evidences gathering and analysis, and the prosecution of the criminals.
The plan for the year 2023, according to Mr. Chow, is to have an approval from the EU to continue their work in the new year. Corrado Pampaloni, the EU ambassador to the Gambia, stressed the important difference between regular and irregular migration, with the latter responsible for most of the deaths at sea and on land. The extra efforts by smugglers to escape capture and detection is astonishing, according to Ambassador Pampaloni.
Smugglers go to great lengths in order not to get caught, quickly adapting to the routes, putting safety and lives of millions at risk.
CDM Toure, the Director General of the Gambia Immigration Department, underscored the Gambia government's resolve to deal with immigration by developing an immigration policy to address the challenges of immigration.
The Gambia developed and launched the National Migration Policy 2020 to 2030. This policy is aimed at providing strategic direction to a holistic migration management and governance in the Gambia, including matters related to irregular migration, smuggling of migrants, and trafficking in persons.
The immigration boss also noted with concern the impact of immigration on a nation.
Human rights violations and the impunity with which smugglers and traffickers operate has a direct negative impact on our societies.
The Minister of the Interior, Siaka Sonko, was represented by Manding Sedikan, the Principal Secretary, who is also the Immigration Desk Officer at the Interior Ministry. Mr. Sedikan talked about the Gambia government's commitment to upholding the principles of the various UN conventions ratified in the areas of immigration. Ms. Yolanda Rodriguez, the Spanish National Police representative, spoke about the reason why Gambia is a priority in addressing irregular migration. She also praised the resolve and commitment of Spain, Germany, and the Gambia to collaborate for the first time on immigration matters. The participants are expected to be trained in common operational partnerships as well as coordination. Suleiman Dabo for QTV News.
Front Star Driving School, in partnership with the Gambia Police Force, on Saturday conducted its first field exercise for trainee drivers in the regional office in Farafenni, North Bank region. Don Williams attended, and his story is narrated by Babakar Sise.
Front Star Driving School is the biggest driving school in the Gambia and the first to go regional to provide an opportunity for those who want to master driving skills under first-class instructors. Aissatou Jallo, the manager of Front Star Driving School, Farafenni branch, is delighted with performance of the trainees and calls on people to join Front Star to be professional drivers.
I think the smile can say it all, because I am really impressed by the students. They've did wonders, and they've shown us that they haven't paid their money for nothing. And I just know that everyone here is impressed also, because they've done wonders, and this has proven that we are giving standards and we are giving quality to students. We train people on the theory, and then we train you on the practical part. Practical part, always you come, you go to the field, and then you go outside on the traffic so that you get used to the traffic. You will not be panicked whenever you see many people around you when driving. And also every Saturday we have our theory class whereby you'll be taught on the driving codes, what and what not to do on the traffic, because the driving codes is there to tell you that you shouldn't do this and you should do this. It's there to communicate to the drivers. So here, in order to reduce the accident rate in our nation, I believe that all drivers should go through the driving school in order so that we can bring the accident rate down.
Lieutenant Colonel Ibrahima Kurubali of the 2nd Infantry Battalion in Farafenni Barracks emphasized the importance of safe driving, adding that training with Front Star may help reduce the prevalence of accidents in the country.
Many people are driving, they don't even know the rules and regulations of, how to drive. Some of them, you will just buy a car in the name of I got a car, you start driving. But then with this, definitely I'm impressed.
Fatou Sose, one of the trainees who works at the hospital, applauds Front Star for their professionalism.
Our instructors are very good. They have respect and discipline. They have the experience of training older people because they have patience. I urge everyone, especially the women, to come to Front Star. Even if you don't have a car, you can keep your license. They teach us both practical and theory. If you want to learn to drive, come to Front Star because this will help reduce accidents.
Keba Sabali, another trainee, says he is delighted to be with Front Star and commended the instructors for their professionalism and for being the first driving school in Farafenni. Papa Tunkara, the councillor of Farafenni Ward, was also present at the event.
We are thanking Front Star and we are very much impressed about this motivation, and it's a great gesture that we are encouraging everyone, especially those in Farafenni, the youth, men and women, old age, etc., to come and join Front Star to help them drive, because they are very supportive and collaborative in terms of driving.
Front Star Driving School is one of the best in the Gambia, and the company has established a reputation of thoroughness and excellence in training and assessing drivers. Babukar Sise, QTV News.
Well, from driving school, now to international news. The 42nd Annual Technical Conference of the Commonwealth Association of Tax Administrators, CATA, is underway in Abuja, Nigeria, hosted by the Federal Inland Revenue Service, Nigeria. The theme is Tax Administration in Digital Era. QTV's Aliu Sise is in Abuja, where he caught up with Yankuba Dabo, the Commissioner General of the Gambia Revenue Authority and current chairman of the West African Tax Administration Forum, to discuss the importance of the forum to the Gambia.
Basically, we have a range of subject matters that we started discussing, and it started with the digitalizations of the tax administration and in informal sector or the informal economy. And that's one of the areas that we are really concentrating to discuss across the member countries. And the second one is also the digitalization and the information of taxpayers and confidentiality of the taxpayers' information. This we thought is also very important because we keep the taxpayers' data, and it is important that now that we are all digitalizing our tax administration, it's important that we discuss in details that area. And thirdly, also we are discussing digitalization and harmonizations of the tax systems, because the tax harmonization is very important. Otherwise, you have different sectors of the tax, and different rates are happening in different places. So it's important that we discuss more on the harmonization of the tax system. And the fifth point that comes in as a major topic is the digitalization and the challenges that we are facing. Because when you digitalize a system, you have a problem, because the problem is those who are born before computer. There's always a problem for them to embrace or accept that changes. That is one. The second thing is when you digitalize, you want to create efficiency in your system so that the shortcuts that are happening will not happen anymore. Then the efficiency will come into the system. And some people over there may see that as you are out to increase your tax system or the amount of money they are supposed to pay, when in actual fact it is not that. Digitalization helps to increase efficiency, and it makes also life to be very easy when you want to get data. So our aim is here to discuss those challenges among our country, among ourselves. As tax collectors, we share experiences, we share challenges that we have. So these subjects that I've mentioned above are the major areas that the meeting is centered on. So through the exchange of ideas and information, we are all learning from one another. And by the end of the day, we all go home with a lot of experience and a lot of notes that we can exchange in the future and try to get experts from other countries that will help you to develop your country, particularly digitalization. Well, that is the main subject of discussion this day and age.
Before we end this news bulletin, here is a recap of our main news headlines. Ismaila Usainu Njai, more popularly known as Usunjai Sr., the pioneering 1960s music band Super Eagles, has died at the age of 77. The National Food Security Processing and Marketing Corporation, formerly known as the GGC, has announced that the groundnut marketing season will start on the 1st of December 2022 and end on the 31st of March 2023. President Adama Barrow has laid the second foundation stone for the TVET Construction Skills Training Center in the Central River region as part of government's policy to establish TVET centers in every region of the country. The Gambia Immigration Department with national and international partners launched the Common Operational Partnerships on Wednesday in the fight against migrant smuggling and human trafficking. In international news, the 42nd Annual Technical Conference of the Commonwealth Association of Tax Administrators is underway in Abuja, Nigeria. That's all in this edition of QTV News. Thank you very much for watching, but don't forget to join us at 10 for another bulletin.